The results are out. Studies now show that billions of players a day are getting caught out. Bad positioning is the new leading culprit for lost gunfights. Gosh darn crikey, mate. We best be doing something to fix this issue here. Oh hey, didn't see you there. My name's Zapper, but my friends just call me the Yapper. Don't worry, I peaked around 580 RR. I think I can sort this out. Hey, snap out of it. Make sure you're paying attention, because without good positioning, you will never rank up. I just saw a super interesting video about pathing just the other day. Let's take a quick look.
You should be peeking with your teammate. So, as a first person, if you are with your teammate, you should go closer like this, okay? So that you're providing your teammate enough space so he can peek exactly at the same time with you.
Basically, when you peek close to the wall, you give your team better odds of trading you out and double peeking with you. For all of you who aren't playing first entry, just make sure you're peeking from the far wall and try to synchronize your peeks with your entry fragger just to maximize your odds of winning the fight. This alone is going to increase your round impact, KD, damage per round, and really anything you can think of. Peeking out with your team is one thing, but properly pathing while taking sight is a completely different thing. Here is how you should be thinking about it.
But if you decide to go left, look how these angles disappear. 1, 2, and watch this. When I go left like this, what am I open to? The mistake that the enemy team would make is overswinging this way or overswinging out heaven to kill you.
The trick is just to minimize the amount of angles you're exposed to. The wider the enemies have to peek you, the better. By pathing like this while taking sight, you're able to quickly control the space necessary for a safe plant without overexposing yourself to too many angles in the process. If you do expose yourself to too many angles, the enemies will just end up farming you. If I was coaching you and noticed that you were still having positioning issues after implementing these first 2 tips, here is what I would tell you guys to learn next. Minimap awareness. Your minimap is likely the most valuable tool you have at your disposal, and there's tons of reasons why. I'm just gonna blaze through a bunch of reasons off the top of my head. Minimap awareness is beneficial because you get real-time information on where your team is at and where they are looking. This helps you understand if they're trying to push, fall back, etc. Basically, just makes teamwork easier. You can see any utility that's being thrown out. This is especially useful for understanding what areas your Sova Sky cleared with their drone, scout, dog. You get to see any enemies that are spotted and exactly where they're at. I think you can see where they're looking, which way they're going. You can see if any of your sightlines are getting blocked by smokes, viper walls. This helps you better understand what space the enemy controls and what space your team controls. And you can see where your team has smoked off. So basically you can better understand what your team is trying to fight for and what angles you have to worry about. All of these are super beneficial. The benefits of good minimap awareness are plentiful. I'm sure I could think of more, but I don't want to bore you guys. Increasing your minimap awareness is super easy. Just look at your minimap more. I know it sounds dumb. Just look at your minimap more. Like, bro, we get it. I queued up for Valorant, not chess. I want to shoot some people. In which case, you should still be trying to improve your minimap awareness because it allows for you to take more favorable gunfights. I don't know about you, but shooting people is more fun when I'm not getting ass blasted in 0.2 seconds every round.
One enemy remaining.
Do you want to know how to position better on defense? Defender side is a little different from attackers because instead of trying to take space, you're trying to protect space. Sometimes winning rounds on defense requires you to take space though. When retaking for post plant, I would just treat it like you're attacking. But other than retaking site, taking space is still beneficial because with more map control, the enemy becomes less predictable. Let's say the attackers are trying to fake A, but you pushed out B. Well, now you know they have to rehit A or they're going to rotate into you, basically guaranteeing for their fake to fail. This gives you a checkmate scenario if played correctly. With so much control over the map, you can either find an off angle that cuts off enemy rotations, or you can just play a ratty corner that allows you to listen to enemies while they're in spawn, trying to rotate. Ultimately, this just allows you to stack whatever site the attacker's hitting, and if you have a stacked site, you can often win the round. It's a common eco strat to just have 4 deagles sitting on site hiding maybe some shotguns, shorties, and you can often win the round with less money if the enemy hits your site while you're stacking it. Coming from me though, I wouldn't just push every round just because I said that. For one, it can be pretty predictable if you do it every round, But more importantly, if you try pushing out when the enemy's rushing you, you're going to die. So what I like to do is I start the round from an aggressive position. I don't always fight for the space, but I'll almost always be there for the information. If I hear a shit ton of footsteps, I'll dip out right away. Maybe I'll peek, try to get one. But most of all, I'm going to fall back, tell my team that I hear a bunch. But if I hear nothing, except for my teammates comment, "Come, rotate, help me," I'll quickly check the minimap, and then I'll start taking some space. Obviously, you still got to be smart about it. You got to watch out for lurkers if you don't spot all 5 enemies. And you got to push out quicker if your team is already dying sight and they need help. There's no point in walking around the map if the enemy has already taken sight and planted a bomb for like 30 seconds. You're just not going to have enough time to do anything, especially if your whole team's already died. While the little details do matter a lot, understanding the greater concept of map control is definitely more important, and being able to freely take space while the enemies are using their resources elsewhere is an invaluable skill to learn and master that most players nowadays are just overlooking entirely.